In Chapter 9, we went over how there is only one mix-up in Pokken, grab or not grab. There are a lot of ways you can play into this and try to weight the decision making in your favor: backdash, jump, command counter, red armor, or even an invincible reversal or burst activation if you have one. But let me tell you how I look at this. The best defensive option in Pokken and most 3D fighting games is not blocking. Nor is it any of those ways I mentioned. And it's not attacking either. It's movement. Guessing your way out of a mix-up is cool, but spacing yourself in such a way that you don't have to deal with the mix-up at all is infinitely better. Even in dual phase, using evasive options such as walking backwards, backdashing, and jumping are extremely effective and low commitment to stay out of mix-up range. Now, if you do find yourself in mix-up range, here are a few techniques to keep yourself from taking too much damage. Homing cancel, perfect block, delay tech, and backdash. First two are specific to field phase, even though Machamp can mimic a perfect block in dual phase. A homing cancel is when you press X to start homing, but press R before the attack becomes active. This is a useful technique because it nullifies meaties with slower startups from being a factor. If you committed to breaking a throw, but the opponent started charging counter, you can press R to block instead. Also, meaties that were effective in dual phase like Shadow Mewtwo's Vortex and Blaze against EX Heatwave can be defended against by committing to breaking the throw, but then pressing R once you see the opponent is starting up a slow attack. Homing cancels let you also defend against the throw versus homing mix-up when you're negative on block. At -8, doing a homing cancel will break the grab, but you can block in time to still stop homing attacks. Now, there's some nuance to this, and it can be beaten by things like delayed grabs and really fast moves like blaze kicks, but those are the basics. To practice homing canceling, use a move that puts you at -8 and set the opponent who has an 11 frame grab to block and then grab on reaction. Then press X long enough to break the grab, but not to do damage, then press R. Grab them back before they're done recovering from their animation. Homing cancels let you get unique punishes with characters who would prefer not to end in homing attack. Perfect blocking is an extension of the homing cancel technique. When your character goes from homing into block, you get stuck in your blocking animation for a while before you can do anything else. But you're always stuck for about the same amount of time. Meaning, if you homing and then block, attacks that normally would put you in large amounts of block stun suddenly don't, as you recover from your block animation in the same amount of time that you would if you didn't block anything at all. This lets you punish moves that should be safe or even positive on block. The window for this isn't very big, and I have a short video explaining exactly how to perform this, but it is very useful to punish or gain frame advantage against reactable single hit moves, including burst shockwaves. A delay tech is something I personally use a lot. Now, this isn't the technical term, it's just what I call it. It's the same thing as just inputting a throw break, but doing it after blocking for a few frames. So if I'm knocked down, I'll often commit to blocking, but then after a bit, I'll go for a dive kick or even a 2Y. This is to, first, make sure I don't eat too much damage initially as I'm getting up, but secondly, to avoid people trying to react to the fact that I'm blocking and try to throw me once they see it. A meaty throw can still beat this, and so can a delayed attack, but that's where I mix in what I think is often the best defensive option: backdash. Backdashing has a small amount of invincibility as it's starting up, and obviously it moves you away from the opponent. So if your opponent goes for a meaty attack with few active frames, you'll avoid it. It also beats grabs that are done very meaty as well, but this isn't always reliable since most people don't use meaty setups for their grabs. I once asked on Twitter, what type of jab is better, mid-low or high? So those are two most common types of jabs. But the answer is, it doesn't really matter, because you can backdash both of them since jabs almost universally don't have enough active frames to catch backdashes. Those are some of the techniques I use to defend myself: homing canceling, perfect blocking, delay teching, and backdashing. Notice how none of those methods I listed were block. Blocking is good since it makes sure the most damage you can take is from a grab. The problem I have with blocking in Pokken, however, is that a lot of grabs still do way too much damage, and there's no real throw break system, so you can't react to them. Just remember that avoiding the mix-up with movement is far better than any other defensive option. With this chapter, you should now have a complete understanding of the mechanics and basic strategy involved in Pokkén Tournament DX. But that's not all for Pokken Basics. If you found these guides helpful, I invite you to check out my website. I have a bonus chapter in my free Pokken Basics course. I also have Pokken Basics Plus, a high-level course designed to take you from an intermediate to a top player. Thanks for enjoying Pokkén Tournament Deluxe with me. Fight hard.
Cool!